Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Rookie Division with various wins for the Legends 9-hole Cup here in Golf Clash the game with new hole locations. And in this video I will give you my suggestions on how to attack the new pin locations here for the Southern Pines. Some of them are easier, some of them are harder, and some of them are just kind of the same. Make sure that you do hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed the video, also that you do subscribe to the channel. You do that for free and you will help the channel immensely. If you do want to take the next step in your game and improve your game even more for tour play or for tournament play or for both, we do have a package for everyone on patreon.com/golfclashtommy, and we start at the package on $250 per month. Obviously you can have a higher package if you want, but we have something for everyone. Use the link to patreon.com/golfclashtommy in the description down below, or you scan the QR code on the side of me here and get yourself started. Follow the info box on the right hand side. That's good information to have in mind when I'm playing the shots in the video. I list what ball and club I suggest, also what club distance and elevation I do suggest, but have in mind that everything that you see here in the video are just that. They are suggestions, and I might not use club levels that you have. I might use club levels like you have, but no matter what though, listen to my explanations, watch the videos, and try to understand the idea I want, or the point that I want to bring to you in how to attack this new hole location. Because even though I play with a specific club, I will always explain what to do with lower level clubs, and also if you're using different balls and stuff like that. So please have that in mind. Now, let's go to hole number 1. Hole number 1, I would say to get an eagle here and not just having to settle for a birdie, we need to get over on the right hand side. We need to get over the water basically. So I'm gonna use my driver that gives me the most power possible, and I'm using a power 3 ball. You can use a power 4 or a power 5 ball to simplify this drive a little bit and also to reach further up, but you will see here on the video that you can definitely manage to get over the water with a power 3 ball. However though, we do need to go max overpower. So I'm using max overpower with as much topspin possible. Unfortunately, I only have 4.5 bars, so if you have more than that, use as much as you can. Maximum distance plus 10 is the adjustment on the drive. Second shot, now with the new hole location standing more right, means that we have less fairway until the green starts compared to how it was before. What can I say? It's not that much big of a difference on how much fairway we have now compared to before, but it's still enough to make us having to use at least around 4 to 5 bars of backspin. So if you do not have a sniper, that I don't have a sniper level that gives me 4 bars of backspin, meaning then I will be playing with my Guardian to use the backspin on that club to not have to play too close to the rough line with my first bounce. However though, if you do have the backspin on your sniper, please use that club instead, because it gives you a much better ball guideline, and therefore you can attack the pin much better. Medium distance plus 10 is the reference for the second shot. Hole number 2, and now they have moved the hole more right, so we can't really take advantage of the slope in the same way that we did before. And this opens up for being, in my opinion, an easier shot, because the rough bump is more achievable because it's less glitchy here. However though, if you're a player that do not really like rough bump and think they are too risky, then this hole has become way harder in my opinion. I would like to play a rough bump here. I'm going aggressive because this is the way that I would like to display for those of you that are playing this one in the tournament, as I do believe this is the best chance to get a drop. Here in headwind, I would like to have the ball guideline through the hole, and the reason for that is that the ball guideline will be compressed due to the slight headwind that we have. If we do have a tailwind, leave the ball guideline slightly short. If we do have a crosswind, ball guideline to hole. 10% elevation. And here I'm using medium distance plus 10. Needed a little bit more here in the headwind angle, but medium distance plus 10 will be very close to the correct answer in many other angles instead. You don't have to use a katana if you don't want to. You can play with a navigator, quasar, or any other ball really, because we are not really close to max line. Hole number 2, in my opinion, the rough bump offers a better chance than what it was before, but as they have removed the slope, I would say that has definitely made the hole harder if you are a player that do not like rough bumps. Hole number 3 is going to be very similar to what you will also see on hole number 9. Use the driver that gives you the most topspin possible. In my bag, that is the big topper level 4. Have in mind though, that even if you do have a big topper level 1, use that club. Preferably with a power 5 ball. You don't have to play with a power 5 ball, you can play with a power 3 or a power 4 ball as well. But the power 5 ball is used to display to you that we do need as much power and distance possible. I would say like this, if you do not have the big topper at all, use the driver that gives you the most power possible after that. It's most likely going to be the extra mile, or it's going to be a Thor's hammer, or even an Apocalypse if you are unlucky enough not having the big topper at that time. Maximum distance plus 10, and it's going to always be max overpower here from front tee, because the club levels will not be high enough for us to avoid having to go with max OP. Second shot, now with a power 5 ball we can actually attack the pin. With the new hole location here, they have moved the pin more left, which means that we have more room to attack it. Before it did stand at the middle of the green, and I think this is a big improvement, because before it was just ridiculous, honestly, because it wasn't really possible to attack it without flirting with the bunker too much. I'm using 2 right spin to aim as much left possible, and then I'm using a little bit of backspin too. What I would like to say though is that be careful with using too much backspin, because the fairway just before the green slopes downhill. And when you bounce there with backspin, it's very easy to use too much backspin, and then you will fall down into the bunker. So even though the Albatross is manageable, I would strongly recommend to try not to push too hard for it, because it would be too much danger of being into the bunker in terms of getting the eagle. You can see I'm not close, but not really close at the same time. I'm giving myself a safe eagle, and that's kind of my general goal for hole number 3. Those of you playing with a high level sniper, like Sniper 9 or Sniper 10, can gamble and use that club instead and have a little bit better ball guideline and attack the pin a little bit better. 10% elevation for the second shot, true club distance. On hole number 4, I would suggest to play with the driver that gives you the most power possible. And here we are playing preferably on the left hand side. And the reason for that is that playing on the right hand side will involve more risk than left hand side, and it often is going to require a decent knowledge of the game to do the right side drive in a consistent and a positive way to be able to attack the pin on the second shot. Max right side spin and 4.5 bar top spin. You can see that I'm bouncing over the left side of the bunker. The goal is to be just short of the shadow, exactly like that. That is exactly what I would like, around 370 to 380 yards. I'm using a katana ball, and the reason for that is not really the drive. The reason is the second shot, because now they have moved the hole to be more left of the green, meaning that it was before in the center of the green, which made the rough bump and any other approach shot to be much easier to attack. So now I want to have a decent amount of left spin to be able to have my first bounce still clearly away from the bunker, because if I would be having less side spin, I would have to move more left, and therefore I would then put the bunker more in place. I'm using more side spin, and then I can attack the pin, and I can also allow myself to make a mistake hitting a great ball or just adjusting in a wrong way, and I will still be safe and I will still get my birdie. Because this is a tough par 4. This is not a par 4 where everyone is going to get an eagle, but I would like us in a safe and consistent way get ourselves to attack the pin, which we can with this type of shot. Unfortunately, just slightly off there with my with my adjustment and making me miss just on the right hand side. But a good chance in my opinion on hole number 4. Hole number 5 has, in my opinion, become way easier, mainly due to the massive funnel. Look at this funnel here now. I'm having the ball to go past the pin. You can see here that even if I'm using more or less side spin, the ball guideline will not move from the hole. You can see I'm wiggling around as well, which gives us loads of room for error. However though, the rough bump is obviously risky, because if you do make a mistake here, you might miss the rough, and that may cost you. So, let's look at it at this one in 2 ways. If you feel comfortable with your adjustment, always go for the rough bump, because that will be miles better than to bounce on the fairway, considering that we do want to have an hole-in-one. However though, if you do not feel comfortable with the rough bump, use the fairway on the right side and all the left spin that you can to bounce the ball up towards the green and give yourself an outside chance for an hole-in-one. It will most likely be a birdie every time, but there is still obviously a chance that you can drop that one from there. I would recommend to use the best ball you have to reduce the wind as much as possible when going for the rough bump. It gives you more room for error, as you obviously don't have to adjust as many rings. Max plus 10 with your sniper and playing into that funnel, I mean, it's a really good chance now compared to what it was before. Before, the pin was more left, which meant that it was way less achievable, and there was no funnels there either. On hole number 6, I strongly advise you to play with a quarterback here if your intention is to lay up and just go for the eagle. What I would like to say with this is that this hole, if you do have the possibility to play with a higher level quarterback, with the rock, or even with an apocalypse, then you can play something called a power slice. And a power slice is something you're going to have to know something about to be able to do that, because otherwise you will smash yourself into the trees easily. So I'm focusing in keeping it simple here and giving us an eagle the safe way, because this is probably what I would say this is a very difficult par 5 overall. This is a tough one, and the eagle is definitely going to be something that not everyone will get, and I would say that the albatrosses will not be that easy to manage either. Maximum distance plus 10. I'm using all the right spin that I can, and also a little bit of top spin, trying to get the ball to be at the top right corner of the fairway. Now, second shot, we're gonna need to have power and also top spin if that's a possibility for you. I would choose to play with the big dog or a horizon, or maybe even a cataclysm if you are lucky to have that one unlocked. Max plus 10, I'm using all the top spin that I can, all the curl that I can, and also all the side spin that I can. So it's max, max, max everywhere. The overpower here was a little bit too little. I was shaking out a little bit because I didn't want to go too far, but in the end you can see I'm having a very safe wedge here to lock in my eagle. So if I would have just used a little bit more overpower, I would get myself onto the green, and then it would have been a putt instead of a easy wedge. Hole number 7 is going to be a tougher par 4 now, since they have changed the whole location to be more on the right side of the green. And the biggest reason why it's so much tougher is that when the pin did stand more left than now, or like it did stand more left before, then it was into this massive funnel. And that massive funnel gave you a lot of room for error, which you don't have now. So that has completely changed the dynamic of this hole, and therefore I suggest especially in those cases where you do not have the possibility to use 6 bars of topspin or more, to play on the right hand side with a simple layup shot. We're playing into this big part of rough, which gives you a lot of room for error with all the topspin that you have to just roll out on this big fairway island. I'm using a navigator as that's the only thing that is really needed. You can use a different ball to add more wind resistance or to have less wind resistance. It doesn't really matter. It's still going to be a simple shot. I would say plus 10 is the elevation. It's going to be somewhere between medium and maximum distance depending on what driver you're going to use. Now on the second shot, I'm still going to play a rough bump here, and I think there is a very important lesson here. Is like you can see how the green slopes right to left, okay? So it looks like the ball will come in super hot, but it won't, because the ball guideline is just to show that if we are not getting the ball to the hole, the ball will roll that distance. It doesn't mean that it's going to come in super hot. So that is important to have in mind. I'm using all the backspin that I can on my Sniper 7 and one right spin, and I'm aiming into the funnel because there's a funnel there too. So I'm having the ball guideline through the hole, aiming into the funnel. And you can see here, when we come onto the green, we get to hit the pin with a normal and fine speed, and we'll get ourselves a very nice eagle on the second shot. 15% elevation, true club distance, and I do believe that if you're just disregarding how the ball guideline is displaying itself, then you will have no issues here in attacking the pin and giving yourself a giving yourself a way of attacking for an eagle. However though, if you miss the pin, you might be worried for an overpowered pot. No, that's not going to happen, because you will roll onto the fringe, and then you will have a simple wedge from there instead. Hole number 8, we would like to have 3 right spin here. So it's either the Katana or the Kingmaker here for me. And you can see here now that I'm using the fairway on the left. And it looks like I'm aiming very close to the sand line, which I also do. But as we do have a headwind and we are adjusting into the bunker, that's not going to be an issue. I'm using 3 right spin and 1.8 backspin. Adjustment is 1-to-1, which is 2.1 rings for 2.1 miles per hour. Adjustment is done, and once we have done that, we're gonna center the ball and try to hit perfect. This has always been a tough par 3 in my opinion, and will continue to be a tough par 3 also. And even though I do hit a great left, I really do like this approach that we're taking here, going a bit more left, using the slope. We don't have to come in with too much speed, and being lucky here to drop this one with a great left. Obviously a perfect would have been in, but I like this little spot there where we can roll the ball down towards the pin without having to go with any curl whatsoever. You can obviously, if you feel it's too risky, move more left and use right curl, or you can use a wood club or a driver if the wind allows that has a lot of backspin, and just aim for the green and just take your birdie. Tough par 3 with all the bunkers, but I do believe that the new hole location, having the pin standing more centered and just how can I explain? Centered and not as far back as it were before, allows us to use the slope on the green in a much better way and can have more hole-in-one success from that. Hole number 9 has always been a very tough par 5, and that's gonna be the same this time as well. Here you would strongly benefit from playing with a power 5 ball. I do suggest that you do spend your free shot on the hard version of the golden shot and get yourself a couple of berserkers. Use the big topper, max overpower always, and all the top spin to get the ball down the fairway. Now I said always, but I'm gonna remove that word and say always if you do have a headwind. When you have a crosswind, you need just a little bit of overpower. In tailwind, you never use overpower on this drive, because your goal here is to bounce before the bunker, over the bunker with as much topspin possible. The further up on the fairway you get, the better it's going to be for the second shot. Now I do understand that I play with a big topper level 4, which is a high level club playing from the front tee, but you can play the same shot with a big topper level 1. If you do not have a big topper, choose a different club. The club as a driver that gives you the most amount of topspin. Maximum distance plus 10. Second shot, I do play with the big dog here to give myself the power to have my first bounce over the middle rough. However though, if you do want to go a bit more aggressive, you can use a sniper, preferably in level 9+, then you will have a good ball guideline and you can aim for the pin in a much better way. I don't have that ball guideline here now, so my 4 bars of topspin is just a guess on how much topspin to get myself towards the pin. I am coming in right in line, but you can see I need way more topspin to even have a chance of getting this ball to drop. No matter what though, with the new pin location here, the new hole location, they have moved it more right, which means that we have now more an open shot to attack the pin, which I think is a good way, which means that the second shot is going to be much easier than what it was before. 5% elevation for the second shot, and it's most of the time it's going to be from max distance. Plus if you are in medium distance or minimum distance, then obviously use that instead of the max numbers. Hole number 9, very tough one to get anything else than an eagle on, but now with a new hole location, they have opened up for some more albatrosses. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for Rookie Division for the upcoming Legends 9-hole cup, a full 9 of the Southern Pines with new hole locations. Have in mind that the videos that you have seen now are suggestions on how to play this course. You don't have to follow it if you don't want to, and I think that's a very important thing to bring with you from this video. If you do have any questions, you can always get in contact with us through support@golfclashtommy.com so we can help you out through that line. If you also do want to test the best guides on the market for pro, expert and or master, you go to patreon.com/golfclashtommy. You do have the link directly in the description down below. Sign up today through the link, or you use the QR code on the side of me and scan yourself the way to success. Thank you once again for watching, and a massive good luck in your Golf Clash game.